It's your boy Obz here. Do it to life, for life. Do it to you. Do it to 2021. A whole year of breast cancer awareness and personal growth. Take a look at that. Day 97 on it. Kind of looking at this thing. This thing ain't quite the way I want to kind of get it. Kind of makes me looks like I'm looking off to the side a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And the camera is right here. Where is it? Where's the camera at? It's right there. So I gotta be looking down right there where the day is. See that tree back there? Day is day 97. And the day is Saturday. So on the day on Saturdays, what we do is just work out on affirmations. So one of the affirmations I always like, what I did first thing this morning, time I woke up, I had my phone right next to my head because I was sleeping on the couch, right? I had to sleep on the couch because my youngest daughter uh, went out with friends. Now she got COVID. Now she under quarantine. That me and we were watching TV the night before. My wife was at the fire station and didn't want her to get contaminated, so I slept on the couch. My wife stayed in the room. My daughter's in quarantine in her room, and so. But when I woke up, the first thing I did was start working on my questions. Wouldn't it be nice while I'm still in kind of a deep kind of dream type kind of state? Wouldn't it be nice and just start thinking about some things as far as resources coming in? And I say, you know what? Today is Saturday affirmations. Let's pull out my phone and go ahead and go with your word is your one. I went ahead and pulled it out, posted it. Pulled it up and then just let it start playing. Hey, the word is my one. Um, it was all about my finances, my resources. I'm connected to my resources. It's unbreakable. My resources overtake me in great avalanches of abundance. It's all about abundance. My pathway is clear. Apparent obstacles vanish upon my approach. All those just flowing in a wonderful state. I listen to probably, and I always crank mine up maybe another 2 minutes or something like. I know to crank it up to maybe two and a half times, one and a half times, so it goes through kind of quickly. Because I do believe that our brains is able to process a whole lot more quicker if we just allow it to. So I crank it up a little bit faster. Also, what I like to do is while it's playing, I had it up on one and a half, and then I decided to crank it back down a little bit because what I like to do is while it is playing, I like to repeat the affirmations out loud. And then normally on Saturdays, I do read out a affirmation that I've got printed out. I got it framed. It's hanging up on the wall in there. But, it's tough. It's probably 5 o'clock. I didn't have to go to work today. Decided to take off. Didn't want to put my coworkers at risk. Even though I don't have a fever, not showing any symptoms or anything like that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be fine. I'm going to wait, 2 days. She got tested yesterday, so I'm going to wait till Sunday and go and get tested. Make sure that everything is A-OK. But that's the main thing, right? Everybody know that the day is coming. So, but anyway, we've already prayed over it. Going to be complete and quick recovery. And it's also some things, that we've been going through. Just being under quarantine, it does have a psychological uh, effect on you. I had just recently went to the hospital with to see one of my relatives was dying, right? So I wasn't gonna go there. My sister said she was coming from Georgia. She was gonna go up there. I was like, shoot, maybe it's like my aunts. Maybe I should go up there. Luckily, my daughter did give me a KN95 mask just in case, right? So I go up there. I kept my social distancing and all that stuff like that, sanitized on the way out. But then afterwards, after my sister left from up there, she said that she was informed that one of the participants up there had, tested positive and wasn't supposed to be up there, wasn't quite out of quarantine yet. Not saying that he was contagious, but it was other family members that did have and were exposed to it as well too. That was not announced or known to anybody else, right? People kind of keep that stuff kind of secret because they don't want to get uh, ridiculed or looked at a certain way. And I can understand too. Also, too, my daughter, her being in quarantine, everybody's treating her like she got the COVID. Right? Yeah, because you got it. Right? See what I'm saying? Nothing to play with. Right? But I can understand that being on the outside looking in, being not included in a lot of stuff, it will have its psychological ramifications. Because divide and conquer when you're alone. But she got a chance to beef up. Hopefully, she'll get that outlet on her YouTube channel. Same thing that I'm doing right now. She does have a nice following, so that maybe they can kind of get in on that. But the main thing is just having those affirmations available. Another thing I talked about too, me and my daughter, oldest daughter, still having problems with her God kids and that God family kids in a bad environment, and still working on it. And I said, you know what? One of the main things on the four agreements day is being impeccable with your word, right? And how have you been impeccable with your word? Is the conversations you've been having around this, even if the person that you were talking about would hear it, would they feel good? And the answer, of course, was they might, right? Yeah, just what the brain want to say when that they might is probably no, right? I was saying you got to watch as far as what you're speaking, your speech, as far as how you're talking around the subject. You mean, instead of telling it like it is, you have to tell it like you want it to be. Then also, my wife was saying stuff like, well, you know what? Sometimes you got to get that stuff off your chest. That's right. That's addressed in the full agreements. She has not listened to the full agreements. I say go back in full agreements. I'm saying not get it off your chest, but there's ways to do it. Ways to do it, because let me ask you this same thing. You get it off your chest and you tell it to your mom. Does it make her feel good? And of course, she had another justification on that. Well, yeah, it might make her feel good since she know that I am discussing stuff and talking with her. Yeah, I understand that. I'm just bringing this up, right? This is the part of being impeccable with your word. Is does anything that you're talking about, would it be considered as gossip, right? Well, sort of. Well, what am I supposed to do? I say, hey, I didn't say it was easy. I just was making you aware that there are avenues that you just gonna have to dig into. A lot of times we don't dig into those avenues on how to get the help that we need. So, same thing with me, right? Same thing, right? Because that's a part of me, and I'm seeing those areas there, and I have the areas where am I watching my speech? Am I doing any kind of gossip? Is the things that I'm saying, is it considered gossip? If the person heard it, right? What would they be edified or blessed, or what's the word for it? Will they feel good? And I'm not perfect, right? But these are the things I'm working on, and these are the things, if we're expecting a different result, but our words are coming out. Another part of me, like the other day, he was like, I know his countenance was down a little bit, just hadn't found a good plan, a good solution, maybe going through some challenges, unrealized expectations, setbacks normally would do that, put you in this sort of funk that you're in, right? So, here's the deal. The deal is that he was saying, hey, look, I want to build more muscle. I don't have a lot of money to spend on protein shakes and stuff like that. So I always go back to the Bible, right? I believe that there's a solution in the Bible. There's a lady that had the widow that kids were getting ready to be taken. She called the man of God and said, hey, look, I need some money. He said, hey, look, I ain't got no money, but what do you have? And she was like, hey, I ain't got nothing. She said, what you got in your house? No, you got something in there. I ain't got nothing but some oil. Great. Here's what you do. See, here's the deal. We need to take inventory of what we already got. Once we take inventory of what we got, we're going to ask God or ask somebody or ask Google, hey, how can I use the resources that I have to do what I want to do? And it may be totally different than what the resource was for. You may end up having to sell the resource instead of use the resource, right? And so, what he told this lady, hey, look, go borrow some pots. Got a word from the Lord, got an answer using your resources. Now here's the instructions. And this is where it's going to be bold. It's all about this ask method. Asking it is given, seeking you shall find, knocking the door should be open. She asked the question, say, what you have in your house? He said, go look in your house. That's seeking. and tell me what you got. I got some more. Okay, now I want you to go to your neighbors. Be bold, go to your neighbor and find some pots. They're still seeking. Then knocking, the door will be open. Go to these neighbors, knock on the door will be open. And they did get all the pots. She came back and shut the door, followed the instructions, poured the oil, sold the oil, and then lived happily ever after. Put her in the oil business. But that's what I'm saying. We have everything that we need. And I was just telling my daughter, hey, look, you may be praying and the blessing may be in a different disguise, but at least the one thing you have to do is just narrow it down to, because she's been working with the fruits, trying to work with the kids, with the wife. None of them had no power, trying to talk to them, don't know how to talk to them. But when it came down to it, main thing is that the father of the family needed some help. So I can't give him the help, so what should I do? Nothing I can do. No, it is something you can do. You got friends. You got professionals out there. There are professionals that handle that stuff. All you got to do is get in contact with some. Lo and behold, the job she's applying for is trained professionals. It's trained professionals. So now she'll be on the inside, be able to have a look on that. Sometimes these blessings look totally different. They might not come in a form that we looking for. They may come totally different. Don't mean that they're not being answered. It just means that it takes a discussion amongst the peers, amongst your group, bouncing it off each other, and then the other person will see it as well too. So I think all of us are working in this thing together. Just watching our words, watch what it say. But back to my guy that was about to, saying that he couldn't gain the weight, he didn't have any of the resources. I said, look, man, just 4 or 5 minutes ago, I pulled him off to the side and said, look, you need to watch your word. You're a man, and you got to watch your words, right? You know, speaking, I can't, and the Lord don't speak like that, because he's a God guy. He said, yeah, man, I know what you're saying. He said, what I was saying? I said, you saying you can't gain no weight, you ain't got the resources, blah, blah, blah. So I'm telling you, go home, take an inventory of what you got in the house. You got some in the house. And then if that's not the case, won't you, if you don't want to ask God about it, ask Google. Pull your phone out. When last time you asked Google, how can you gain muscle on the resources that you have? You hadn't did it. I know you hadn't did it. But tell you what, go ahead, dig into it, share with us, because we got other guys up here who want to gain muscle as well too, on a budget, right? Gain muscle on a budget. That's what I'm talking about. And what we're doing right here, we're doing personal growth on a budget. Ain't costing us nothing. It's your boy Obz here. Do it to life for life. Do it to you. Do it to 2021. A whole year of breast cancer awareness and personal growth. Peace out.